Hello everybody, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Once again, a very special video today. Check this thing out. We have a UFO for Microsoft Flight Simulator. This thing does 6,000 knots. Let's check it out. And a very happy Monday to all of you. Look at that. We got an F-18 just buzzed right on by us there. They already know what we're up to. They do. But I hope you had a great weekend. We're checking this mod out. This thing is awesome. I'll have it linked in the description below. Look at the interior on this thing. Some fun little things like having Pac-Man here and a blender and a range, but we're here to fly this thing, so let's do it. Let's hit start engine here. Three things you have. You have open hatch, which is the hatch up there that opens up. You can start the two engines on this beast, and then you have toggle lights as well. I'm using a Thrustmaster HOTAS 1 for flying today, so I'm not using a, camera for it or anything like that, but you fly this kind of like a helicopter, but not really. So you have up and down with your throttle, and then you have forward and back with the stick. There we go. That's the two engines fired up there. We have all that, and you can see it's already starting to move around on us a little bit. Let's give it a little bit of power here. There we go. Look at that. We're coming right off the ground just like that. Now I can't rocket left to right. I can use my yaw, so I can rudder left and right like this to steer it where you want it to go. You have to be super, super easy on the controls. This thing is so sensitive, like this. Already doing some weird stuff, but we're already going up. I'm gonna go pull my power down a little bit here. And we'll go to the outside view so we can check this thing out a little bit. Oh, there we go. So I'm getting better at flying it. And here we are above Area 51, and I don't see that F-18 anymore, but check out the model of this thing. Looks pretty darn convincing. Looks very cool indeed. And you can see we're already starting our ascent here all the way up. Well, there they are down there. I think that's the F-18. Well, yeah, that is definitely an F-18. They probably wonder what I'm in, because I'm sure I'm not showing up as a UFO for them. Let's get a handle on this thing. Okay, there we go. A little bit here. Now, what I want to do is get an altitude, and I want to set it. Now, you can use the onboard autopilot, but every time I hit this button, man, it really goes to hell. So, let's see. Let's set this thing to, I don't know, 5,000 feet and hit the button. Oh, it does work. Okay. Well, it says, hey, there's 5,000. Okay, so can we just go up from here? We can. Okay, so you can use this as well. Nice. Well, that's easier to fly it with, isn't it? And this is the outside view right here, and you can already see, there we go, increase some more altitude there, and then just hit this thing fully forward. I want to see the speed we can get out of this thing. A little bit more altitude than that. Oh, she's getting shaky already. Whoa, careful. A little bit more altitude than that, maybe, dude. Okay, that's to pull it back. Okay, I'm not really sure how to fly this. We are definitely going up. Look at this. This is amazing. Wow. Okay. So that's working pretty well, and we're not dying anymore, so that's good. Look, we already see the stars now. We are up here. Look at this. We're outside the atmosphere already. All right, things are freaking out here. What is that? Oh, that's the HUD. Okay, I see. All right, we started over again. I'm trying to figure out how to fly this thing in a decent manner because, man, I'm telling you what, it gets really out of shape really fast, especially when you're using that altitude hold. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my ascent this time, but in a more controlled way instead of just, nailing full throttle and hoping for the best. All right, so I have the simple UI on here so we see our airspeed, altitude, etc., etc. So we're just going straight up for the most part. And what I have found with this thing is honestly small movements on throttle and small movements on the controls. If you don't, this thing gets out of shape really fast. But right now, we have a controlled ascent over Area 51. We're at 71,605. I don't think that instrument goes any higher than that. So that's maxed out. You can see our vertical speed is just insane right now. And you can barely see anything. I'm having to like drop the camera down over and over again just so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Now I can see what we're doing a little bit better here. But we're still going up. All right, I'm gonna try to level this thing off here so we can have a little bit of control. And then we're gonna try to actually fly it. It feels to me like this thing is just not doing what I think it should be doing, which is it's not leveling off like ever. It just seems like we're just sitting here like at an angle like this, just kind of jittering. My suspicions seem to be correct because that's exactly what this thing is doing. Although it's not too bad. I think we're just kind of at a good hover here. Okay, let's attempt to fly this. I'm gonna go forward on the stick here. That's fully forward on the stick. There we go. Airspeed's increasing. 16.8. Oh my, dude, this thing is stupid fast. Okay. It must be, okay, airspeed's even higher than that. I don't know what this UI is telling me, but I don't think it's correct. Maybe it's better to fly it on the outside view because we are actually making decent progress away from Area 51 now, finally. And wow, we're moving pretty good here. I'm gonna keep this thing going forward. Here we go, fully forward here on the speed. There we go. I have these instruments now in the outside view only. That way we can actually see maybe what is actually happening here, but we're maxed out in airspeed. Altitude's insane on this thing. I don't think it can go any higher than that. I'm gonna keep the speed going forward here. So pushing the stick even further forward. So this is how it's flying. It actually does fly to its side like this, which is interesting. But we are actually making progress. Now, landing it, that's a whole nother story. I'm gonna get over this entire mountain range, and then we're gonna try to land down here somewhere, perhaps, before we get to the ocean. If you're wondering what's happening on the inside view, this is what we are seeing. It is just earthquake central in here right now. I have to use the controls to move around because the camera does not stay put at the chair at all. Probably more ideal to fly it in the outside view, I would imagine. This thing is starting to get really unstable, though. At these speeds, we're almost completely sideways. Oh, I think we're losing her. I think we're losing her. Look at this. Wow. Okay, I'm holding back on the stick. We're slowing this thing down as much as possible. I want to get this thing back under control, and maybe then we can have a controlled descent for a landing. I don't know what to expect here. If I release that reverse, it's still keeping forward speed. Okay, so we have to keep on pulling back on the stick to get that back to 0. Back on the flight deck, things are looking much better now. That's a good thing because it's just that speed, man. When you're in that speed, it's just absolutely craziness. And you can turn the lights on too. Let's do that so we can see that from the outside view. This thing is falling like a rock. I don't see the light on it at all. Okay, careful now. What is happening here? Okay. Let's get the speed up. Oh, careful. Oh, I can see the light on it now. We're gonna smash it at the ground. Oh, okay, we're good. We're kind of good. Can we land it though? No. A little bit more. Okay, nice and easy, nice and easy. Oh, come on, a little bit more. You can't fly this thing in the inside view at all, guys, like at all. Okay, well, this is a little bit better, I guess. Although I'm not sure which way is forward and which way is back. Oh, there we go. We did it. I mean, we didn't, but you know what I mean. We actually touched down without, we're not spinning out of control now. Okay, can we shut the engine off now? We can, and let's open the hatch. Like I said, that opens up right there. And the hatch is opening, but we are definitely falling down the side of this mountain. And yeah, I'm gonna chalk it up to this thing is extremely difficult to fly, but maybe we have to fly it a little bit slower than we would like. I mean, good thing I have crash detection turned off because that would have been death. Absolute death. All right, let's close the hatch back up where it was before. I love how it actually is animated on that little thing right there. You can actually see it coming down. That's really cool. All right, start the engines back up. We're gonna try to fly this thing again, but at a lower speed, lower altitude. Let's see if we can actually maneuver this thing somewhat. We're gonna do this at dusk because I wanna see that light underneath here for sure, but it's always beautiful at sunset, you know? So why not? Second engine coming up online now, so, all right, I have no power at all. We're just gonna go ahead and let this thing stabilize a little bit here. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of power here just to get this thing a little left on the rudder here. Oh, there we go, just like that. Okay, that's better. So forward motion, a little bit more power. Okay, we're doing better now. So easy does it, man. That's what you gotta do here. Pull that back, there we go. And from the outside view, check it out. There's our green light. It actually shines down pretty decently. Oh, that looks awesome. Here it is from the outside view, man. Look at that green light shining down. That looks so cool. Wow, man. Okay, that's amazing. I love the lights on the outer edge of it too. That's really, really cool. So this thing is super stable right now, currently as it is, but it's all about just going really easy on all the controls. Okay, so now we got this. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more forward thrust here so we can keep this thing moving forward without dying. So when I add more forward on the stick, I'm gonna watch my throttle input because if it's too much, it seems like it wants to start climbing like crazy. But now we're getting some speed here. There we go. Okay, it's starting to get a little unstable. I'm gonna pull back on it. Okay, and we are back during the day, and I guess you turn it by literally using your yaw. So if I want to go down the side of this mountain range, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna point it where I want it to go, like towards this. There we go. Oh, hello. And then forward. Well, it's easier said than done, I guess, right? There we go. Nope. Okay, that makes more sense. Dude, this has got a huge learning curve to it. I was not expecting that at all out of a simple UFO mod like this, but it is actually true. You have to steer this thing with your rudder, but you have to be super easy on the throttle because that's what gets this thing all out of shape. But now we're actually flying this thing pretty decently, and I mean, it's going really fast. Outside view here, we can see we're at about 14,000 feet here, and we are at 1,391 knots currently. So we are cruising right along this mountain range, and we have figured it out. We actually know how to fly this thing now. And it's just, you know, nice and easy movements. All right, so a left turn now. Back this way. I'm gonna get a little more aggressive with my turning. All right, she's getting a little wobbly now, so I'm gonna go ahead and watch how much power I'm giving it here and pull back on the speed. It seems like the wobble is coming from forward speed, so you pull back a little bit and you let go, and look at this. You're actually looking pretty good here. So let's try to turn to the left here, and I'm gonna fly over this mountain range over this way. Actually, let's try to land in this dry bed right here because I haven't had a successful landing in this thing yet. And I would like to try. So let's see if it's all about the amount of speed you have going forward versus the actual altitude, and see if we can land this thing in a decent manner. I'm gonna attempt this one from the outside view because, man, you really can't see much from out there. All right, whoa, careful, we're coming in hot. All right, pull power back, or pull the stick back here actually, and I'm gonna get this thing in a lot slower flight, and then just use our, okay, that's working pretty good. There's 127 there. Pull back a little bit more, there we go. Pull back more, there we go. So it's just, you know, time. More time I have in this thing, the more it makes sense in actual flying it. All right, pulling that down a little bit more, so there we go. Kind of want to get this thing into a hover for the most part. Let's see if we can do that. So there we go, a little bit more power than that so we don't just smash into the ground. There we go. Nice and easy, there's 30 knots there. Pull back a little bit more. All right, we're getting closer to the ground now. A little bit further back. There we go. Oh, a little bit more power. Oh, there we go. Let's get this into a hover. 0. Beautiful. Drop it down, drop it down, drop it down, drop it down, drop it down. Yes, almost there, almost there. Woohoo! We did it. So a lot easier said than done, that is for certain. But man, what a cool mod this thing is. Now that we have learned how to actually fly it, it would be fun to fly these online with friends for sure. But let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. And also, you know, are you a believer? Do you believe? Maybe you want to pick up this mod because of that. Anywho, I'll see you next time. Take care.